San Luis Potosí is one of Mexico's 32 states. It is centrally located, not far north of Mexico City. Day of the Dead is celebrated throughout Mexico, but in San Luis Potosí, it is known as Chantolo. As elsewhere in Mexico, the graves of deceased friends and family are decorated with flowers, candles, religious images. And altars are set up in their honor in homes and plazas. Mexicans believe on October 31st through November 2nd, their spirits return to visit. And so, the altars contain offerings of the things they cherished in life. Candy and toys for children, favorite foods, drinks, and cigarettes for adults, and candles to light their way home. The state's capital is also called San Luis Potosí, and the city is decorated for the holiday, with parades of men and women, boys and girls, dressed as Catrines and Catrinas, a kind of skeletal patricians. The preferred flowers are the marigold, or cempasúchil, and the coxcomb, or mano de león, and music and fireworks are always popular. In the Huasteca region of San Luis Potosí, most of the population is indigenous Tenec or Nahuatl, and the traditions vary from the capital and larger towns. Here in the Tenec community of Tamaletom, altars are set up to honor the ancestors, and the candles, flowers, music, and fireworks are also part of the Chantolo celebration.
Imam intaha malasheshi trakchistalab ani asheshi ay chistalab kaltinevalan kailem y pidhali kagnambalan pulik pailom con wautehe u.
But there are also Tenec traditions, such as the burning of incense and the recitation of traditional prayers. A more unusual tradition practiced in the ceremonial plaza of Tamaletom is the Danza del Gavilán. A tall tree trunk is set up in the plaza, and 4 pole flyers climb it. One plays the drum and traditional flute. After a brief ceremony, they spin to the ground, secured only by a rope around their waists. Tampamolón Corona is a nearby town of mixed Nahuatl and Tenec heritage. In Tampamolón, Chantolo is celebrated with masked dances known as comparsas.
El Chantolo son nuestras costumbres, nuestras tradiciones.
Chantolo is one of our customs, our traditions, and for us is to celebrate the return of the deceased. We have rich culture here. 90% of the population is Tenec and Nahuatl. And for all of us, it is a very important part of our culture that must not be lost. And for us, as you see, there are children, adults of all ages, participating in the Chantolo celebration. Tampamolón is a place with much history. It has archaeological ruins, And it has this pretty veranda that was formerly in the state capitol. And in 1945, our governor Gonzalo N. Santos brought to Tampamolón. I want to add also that the culture here is one of a great charisma that distinguishes us. Our culture, our cuisine, there's much to see here. I could go on all afternoon about what sets us apart.
The comparsas of Tampamolón begin with the blowing of a horn to summon the dancers. These line the main streets and dance towards the plaza through the decorated streets. The comparsas include many different characters: devils, cowboys, pregnant women, school children, indigenous persons, Aztecs, and people from various professions, such as bakers, elegant ladies, police officers, and soldiers, most touched by a skeletal theme in hopes of confusing death. The comparsas finish through pots of incense, sending plumes of smoke through the town, which purify the dancers.
Aproximadamente 7 años, desde el año 2015.
I've been making masks for 7 years, since 2015. I'm an autodidact. I'm self-taught. The masks I make are for Chantolo and for the other festivals throughout the year, including Holy Week. I like making all kinds of masks, but my specialty is Aztecs because of its importance to Mexican culture. Right now, my regular job is in the culture office, supporting the town by making decorations for festivals. I'm a native of Tampamolón, a teacher here. We are trying to keep culture alive here. The masquerades are a satire on death by persons who really exist in everyday life. We are a group of young people who dance traditional Chantolo dances, representing the Nahuatl and Tenec cultures. To make the masks such as the one that you see here that I've been dancing, I begin with a sketch. I then look for an artisan who can help me carve the wood. Similarly, the colors of the mask, I request to match the costume to be worn. I make them just for myself. They have to express an aspect of my personality. I like the color red. They have to have a Tenec or Nahuatl theme. So I suppose the demon is an aspect of my personality. I'm a little devilish.
Each town in the Huasteca has slightly different Chantolo traditions, but the overarching theme is the same: a celebration of death, not as a terrifying event, but as a natural part of the cycle of life. Federico Chavez Hernandez lives in Tancanwitz. He makes masks of all sizes used in Chantolo and Holy Week celebrations. I've been making masks for 32, 33 years. Originally, there was another artisan who made these masks, and he fell out of a van and died. I took up the work after he passed away, when I was about 20. Nobody taught me. There was nobody to teach me to make the masks. The type of masks I make are the Huastecas call the elegant lady. Whatever anyone asks, I can make. We start on Semana Santa because we have a tradition of masquerade during Holy Week. It's all devils during Holy Week. I begin making devils for the comparsas of Holy Week. In contrast, the masks of Chantolo are diverse. You see nurses, you see devils, you see Catrinas. You see different dances and different characters. I make 4 masks a day of pemoche wood from the coral tree. It's very soft, you can work quickly. Cedar is harder, or mocoque. You can work with mocoque, but the mask will weigh a bit more. This pemoche, when it's dry, weighs almost nothing. In Tanquian de Escobedo, Chantolo is celebrated with dozens of groups of masked dancers who dance all night on a stage in the town's main plaza.
Vamos por ahí a abrir un paréntesis para mencionar que se encuentran
An incredibly diverse cast of characters dance to different tunes. The leaders are usually devils or cowboys who coordinate the group. Characters include old men and old ladies, brides, Catrinas, workers, clowns, indigenous Americans, every imaginable character. I'm an artisan. I make wood masks for comparsas in the Huasteca. I made this one. It's a farmer. I've been making these for 14 years now. Nobody taught me how. I just grabbed a chunk of wood and started carving out of nowhere. And sort of made one. And I kept going until I got into the rhythm of it. I used pemoche wood, colorín, from the coral tree. We danced on Day of the Dead to welcome back the faithful dead from the afterlife. We have more than 40 characters in our dance group. Chantolo matters a lot to me because I can feel the spirit of my uncle, my grandmother visiting us from beyond. We look forward to it all year. San Martin Chalchicuautla is situated far in the southeastern Huasteca. Most of its 25,000 inhabitants are ethnically Nahuatl, and Chantolo here goes back at least 800 years. The dancers believe that by disguising themselves, they are lending their bodies to their ancestors, who return from the afterlife to participate in the dance. The Chantolo dance here is called Los Coles, and unlike in Tanquian, consists of a defined cast of characters. Surrounding the dancers are the viejos and viejas, representing the male and female elders. They represent wisdom. The diablos represent demons. They dance in a ring just outside the row of viejos and viejas. They carry a whip that they crack on the ground to scare away evil spirits. The Comanches represent warriors of the village. They dance in the innermost circle with the devil. La Muerte, death, is a skeletal figure who usually dances with the devils and may carry a scythe. El Cole represents authority and wears a mask of animal fur, such as deer, goats, or peccary. The Cole carries a staff and is paired with an old woman, the Mamanina. El Caminito appears in a white suit, riding a wooden horse. He represents St. James the Apostle, a Catholic figure revered in Spain and much emphasized by the Spanish missionaries, but he also represents the children. The comparsas dance all day long in different parts of the town. Eventually, the dancers form a circle with linked hands. In the circle, El Cole y la Mamanina clown together for the amusement of the audience.
Soy artesano.
I am an artisan of devil masks that I design. I'm 32 years old, and I've been dancing in this tradition since childhood. The tradition of making masks in the last years. I've made them for anyone who asks, for children, adults. Aside from the devil, I like to make the Comanches and El Cole. But what I'm most known for in the work I do is the devil. These are horns from fighting bulls, and some are horns from local cows. I learned to make them from a gentleman named Felipe Horta, from here in San Martin. He revolutionized the devil mask. He began by changing the style a bit more than 40 years ago. As a child, I bought one from him, and I began paying close attention to his work, to how to make the molds, and to work in his style of masks. I personally like Chantolo more than any other tradition, because it's a day when we can not only enjoy the Coles dance, but we visit many people, families. We pay our respect to the deceased, and it's a very beautiful tradition that must continue for many years. More than anything, it's to honor our departed family and friends. As you can see, our doors are open to all the tourists. It's a unique tradition with the comparsas, a very old tradition that will never pass away. I hope everyone enjoys this day.
The celebrations of Chantolo, the Day of the Dead, take many forms in the Huasteca Potosina region, but they share a common core: respect for the ancestors, acceptance of death as part of life, and coming together as a community in a shared tradition that is fun for everyone.